So this is the bridal suite. For consignment shopping. Found some places here in San Antonio we're gonna try out. Okay, we are at the wedding venue. Ryan's mom hasn't seen it, my grandmother hasn't seen it, and Ryan and I actually haven't seen it since it's been done. So this is really exciting for us to see it when it's done, which is also kind of like nerve-wracking at the same time. We're about to walk in and we will get some footage so you guys can see. Well, you've already seen it, but now you can see it again. So this is the bridal suite. Look how cute it is. Love. So where we're at?
We're in the groom suite.
The groom suite.
They crushed this.
Yeah, they did such a good job. Doing a little wedding dress shopping while we're here. See what we can find. So we're at this place called Stanley Korshak, and I literally thought it was a department store, but it's like this whole situation here. It's so nice. All right, I'm actually kind of like a little nervous. Like butterflies in my stomach. Got done trying on dresses. I think we've been here for what, 2 hours? Yeah. I don't know if I'm gonna show any of the footage though, because I think I want Ryan to see me in a wedding dress for the first time
At the wedding?
at the wedding. Yeah, so I don't know if I'm gonna post any of the try-on footage. Okay, yeah, that's what I was more leaning towards, but how many dresses did we try on? 8?
10.
10?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I feel like not too terribly.
They were all very pretty.
Thank you, Camry. Kylie was my my videographer today. She did so good, I hope, because I don't know.
No, it was good. I mean,
Okay, we'll see. All right, Ryan's waiting outside for us, so we are gonna hit the road. We've got about a 5-hour,
hit the road.
4.5-hour drive ahead of us. Back to San Antonio, or not back to San Antonio, but to San Antonio. Okay, I'm hot. Made it to Ryan's parents' house, and that drive was brutal. It ended up being way longer drive than supposed to because they were doing construction along the highway, so I'm pretty sure it ended up being like a 5.5-hour drive. Anyways, it's 12:30 in the morning, and I don't know, I was so tired in the car, but I was trying to stay awake for Ryan because he was driving, but now that I'm here, I'm like wide awake because I feel like I've been cooped up in the car. So I haven't even told you guys what the theme of this vlog is because we were just so excited, going crazy today with the wedding stuff, but in this vlog we're going to talk about doing it wrong and little things that in my life I feel like I'm doing wrong, and just being self-aware and realizing when I'm not doing something the correct way. And I'm going to talk about like 2 really small examples right now, but later in the vlog I'm going to talk about bigger examples that can like really affect your life. Number 1 is the wedding stuff. I kind of feel like Ryan and I have just been going at it like blindfolded and just going crazy without actually sitting down and doing research. So the other day I sat down and I for half of the day, I was like, I'm gonna take half of the day and just really research like how to plan a wedding effectively. And there were things that I didn't know, things that I've been doing wrong. Just being self-aware enough to like figure out when you don't know how to do something, to just Google it and seek help in one way or the other. Secondly, has to do with skincare. And I got super into skincare a few years ago. I was just using like face wash and a moisturizer every single day. I didn't know really about like retinol and different serums and different like, you know, vitamin A, vitamin C, and so then I kind of like started seeing people on YouTube and on Instagram using all of these products, and I was like, oh, maybe I should start using those. So I remember I went to Sephora and I just got like retinol, like all of these acids, like lactic acid, glycolic acid, and I was just like piling them all over my face. And I was like, nothing's working, like what's happening? And then I realized I'm doing it wrong. I didn't take the time to sit down and research how skincare actually works. So literally like 6 months ago, I sat down and I researched for probably 2 full weeks, like skincare, and like you can't mix this acid with this acid. If you're gonna use this product, you have to wait 30 minutes to use this product. So even if you're not spending a ton of money, like any product, whether it's $8 or $80, you wanna be using it right. You don't just wanna be throwing your money down the drain. And I was so mad at myself because I'm like, I've been doing it wrong this whole entire time because I just didn't take the time to sit down and figure it out and just research it. And so with that being said, Vanity Planet is sponsoring this video because I'm going to show you guys something that I've been using for a few months now, and it is the Era Facial Steamer. And I did bring it with me to Texas. Large-ish. Compared to other facial steamers, it's not like that big, but it's very lightweight. So I always have room in my suitcase. It's just the weight that I always overpack with the weight. So this is actually perfect for me to pack. But before I get started doing the skincare routine, Vanity Planet actually gave you guys a discount code, which they're always so nice about, for 30% off. So click the link below to use that. It's ASH30. The reason I like this and the reason that I've adapted this into my skincare routine is because I feel that it's necessary. First of all, it's so relaxing. You literally feel like you're at a spa. Second of all, it's so effective. I don't use it every night and I don't recommend using it every night. I have been using it twice a week for 15-minute sessions. Not only has it helped clear my blemishes because it really opens up your pores and cleans out your face, it also allows for your skin to really absorb the products that you're using. So on the 2 nights a week that I use retinol, I use this because I really want to make sure that the retinol is going deep into my pores and it's closing up and it's really drinking it all up because retinol is super expensive. Or I will use this when I'm using a mask. But tonight we're just going to be using the retinol. I've heard hyaluronic acid is the best thing to pair with a steamer, but I use retinol. I use hyaluronic acid on pretty much a daily basis, so I really save this for my retinol. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fill up the water tank. You always want to make sure, I usually use at home my water filter, but all Ryan's parents have our bottled water. So if you fill it up to the max line, it will give you 1 15-minute session. Fill that up to max. And then all we do is just pop it in. And when it comes to like using purified water, like my clothes steamer, my oil diffuser, you just don't want to use sink water because it will calcify and it just ruins all of your stuff. So I just hit the power button and we're gonna give it a couple of minutes to really warm up. But in the meantime, I am actually going to put my hair in a towel because I don't want to get my hair wet. I've already cleansed my face. You want to make sure you're doing this on a clean face. You want to get all of your dirt and sweat, everything cleaned off of your face. A couple of months ago when I started using this, I was actually a little hesitant because I do have like acne prone skin. Because I was like, isn't it gonna make you sweat, break out? But no, that's like not the case at all. It actually gets rid of your impurities and just like cleans out your pores. And it also helps like blood circulation, so hello. Little tip is if you are sick or you have like your sinuses are blocked, you can put essential oil in here like a eucalyptus and it is actually so amazing. I always like to do like a towel like this so it kind of traps it in. Okay, I'm going in. I'll see you guys in 15 minutes. I'm not gonna lie, I could literally just fall asleep right here, right now. I normally sit down for this, just FYI, I normally don't stand here for 15 minutes. Okay, I'm done. Very wet face. I'm telling you, this thing is small, it's very powerful. So what I like to do, some people actually like to full on like wash their face with like soap and water, but I just like to get a really hot washcloth and just kind of like give it a little soft wipe, and I get my retinol immediately afterwards and I just apply. And there we go. It feels so good after doing that. It feels like I've just been sitting in a sauna for a really long time after being in my hometown, because I was like playing outside a lot with the twins and Stella, and just like the airplane and the car ride, you just feel kind of gross. So that really is like a nice reset for your skin. I will see you guys tomorrow, and thanks again to Vanity Planet. This is probably one of my most favorite beauty tools that I own. I'm gonna get to bed. I'm so tired. I will see you guys later. Bye. Then I changed my mind. Maybe we got time. Oh man. All right, good morning from San Antonio, Ryan's house. We drove from Dallas to San Antonio. We actually spent the whole first week in Texas at my parents' house, and then we drove from Dallas to San Antonio, and now we're staying at his parents' house for like 4 days or so. But today we're actually going to the farmer's market at the Pearl, and it's one of mine and Ryan's favorite thing to do. We like to go to the farmer's market, and then we like to just kind of hang out around the area because there's so much good food, and sometimes there's music and good coffee and just lots of people, and it's hot as hell. But it's a really fun place to go hang out. So we're gonna go do that this morning, and we've got his mom and his dad coming along with us, so it'll be a nice day to spend with family. And then I think we're gonna do a little thrifting after that. So I've already kind of scouted out some places that I've never gone to that I'm excited to go to. So we're gonna do that today. Oh, gotta get outside.
Hello. Lady.
Bringing back memories.
Yeah.
This is where Ryan and I got engaged.
Walking up to our engagement spot. That's where it went down.
That's where it went down. Where you proposed with the ring backwards.
You're calling me out.
Such an iconic moment.
Calling me out. It's alright. I was a little nervous.
But you know what? That's what made it so special.
That I messed it up a bit.
No, you didn't mess it up. It was absolutely perfect.
You're sweet.
Wouldn't have had it any other way.
You sweet
Because it was like,
lady.
It was like, you know, I'm asking you to marry me, but I'm gonna keep you guessing on what that ring looks like. You're just gonna have to wait a bit to see what this looks like.
Gotta keep you on your toes, lady.
I need an affirmative yes before I show you the ring.
And that is where it went down. Right there. And up here is where all the family was hiding. They had the bird's eye view. The ring was backwards right there. Whoa, don't trip.
Maybe if I change the way I love it, maybe if I try to fix this start, then I could have stayed the night, I could have called you mine. If I change the way I
We just finished brunch. Is that brunch?
This is very crooked, lady.
I
Where's your
know,
framing?
the thing's
Where's your
crooked.
framing?
My arm's not long enough.
This is not appreciated by our viewers.
Oh my god. Well, we just finished food, and now we're going to do a little thrifting.
Sorry, this is just gonna
Right?
drive me crazy.
That's fine. Less
Okay.
stress on me. Wait,
Alright, so what's the deal?
we are going thrifting or consignment shopping. We found some places here in San Antonio we're gonna try out. I think it's gonna be fun. Huh?
Let's go.
I have something in my
It's about to get thrifty. Alright, lady. Right? No? That wasn't good?
Smells delish. No, that wasn't.
No,
There you
wasn't
go.
good.
It's got it.
Yeah.
They open. Get in there. Get in there, lady.
Maybe if I try to fix this heart, then I could have stayed the night. I could have called you mine.
We just ate, lady. Place number 2.
It's a little different from place number 1.
Tiny bit. Thrifting is thrifting, yo. Hey, did you just freak out?
These are so cool. I freak out. Oh my purse.
Find more good stuff.
Yeah, this is cute. But I really like this one. Winter's so far away.
It's quite far, lady.
Yeah, and then we'd have to like pack it.
Show me them shoes, though.
I'm doing a whole.
Show me them boots.
It's too big.
Fix this heart, then I could have stayed the night. I could have called you mine.
All right, we just made it back to Ryan's house, and oh, can you guys hear the air conditioner? Sorry, it's probably so loud. And I think Ryan and we just pulled up to his driveway, dropping his parents off, and then I just realized I ran out of my eyebrow pencil, so we're just gonna run across the street. There's an Ulta, and I'm just gonna grab an eyebrow pencil. Well, we do have an Ulta in New York, but it's literally from my apartment, like a 45-minute subway ride. So I love Ulta so much, so I might look around a little bit and see what they have. You guys... Oh, okay. I didn't even hear what he said. But why are we not excited about going to Ulta right now?
Because it's Ulta and I want to play with my dog. It's pretty much the only reason in the world that anyone could fucking Ulta.
Jeez.
Sweet moves, dude.
Can I go to Bath and Body too? I feel like they have eucalyptus body wash.
Nah.
And
Oh, they closed down the Starbucks? Or wait, no, that's over there. You and your slippery hands.
this is like
That's what you get for testing out an oil and then going to take a cap off something.
really, I can't get it off. So I guess this pencil's not meant to be. You need capless eyebrow pencil.
So they have, okay, Ulta carries Tarte just like Sephora, but apparently they just carry different things, and they didn't have my eyebrow pencil. But I did find some other things that I'll do a little haul later. So I guess, I don't know, either like today or maybe tomorrow, since it is Sunday and I'm sure the mall's packed, we'll just run to Sephora so I can get my eyebrow pencil. And Ryan, I wondered, like, Ryan was being so quiet and such a good boy in Ulta.
Such a good boy.
And I was like, why is he not yelling at me to go, or like, what am I doing? And I go over there and he's giggling like a little kid. Anyways, I guess this man had sent me a DM on Instagram, and like, I always like screenshot when people like slide into my DMs and ask me out on a date. I always send it to Ryan because we like laugh about it. And it was this guy, and he was like, hey, I'm a neurosurgeon, like, we should go out. Like, first of all,
Post a
like,
screenshot.
that's gonna impress somebody? I don't know, it's, well, you know. So Ryan and all of his friends invited this guy into a group chat, and they're borderline harassing him. And like
It's
asking
well-deserved harassment.
asking him all these questions, and just, I mean,
His name was Billy.
Ryan
We called him Bildo.
Ryan, and they're just like asking him all these like surgeon questions and just being trolls, all of them. Oh my god, Ryan, you're gonna kill me. I was just filming my mouth.
Oh, framing? Mess up the framing?
Framing. My arm's not long enough.
Your arm is long enough.
Oh, they have cookies? Oh!
Oh shit, there's a fucking motorcycle there. Somehow we found ourselves at another mall.
I need my eyebrow pencil.
I need my eyebrow pencil. Going in here. Ma'am, are we done?
I just walked in the door.
Can't prove that on camera.
But wait, how good does it feel inside?
It feels fucking phenomenal. Excuse me. You just said you were done, so we should go. You just said you were done, ma'am.
I'm done now.
Now? Because if you were done, we would be leaving.
I just sprayed the 2 whey perfumes and like immediately had a headache.
Oh.
They
Oh.
smell good. All right, I got my what did I even go to there for?
You went there to put foundation on your arm.
I know, right? I have eyebrow pencil. I got my eyebrow pencil plus some others. This whole arm has foundation on it because I was testing out this foundation and apparently this brand has like every color I see. I'm like, oh yeah, that'll totally match my skin. And then I put it on and I'm like, wait, there's literally 15 different mascara foundations on my arm. Should I stop talking now?
I've got cookies.
Okay, we're gonna go inside. I'm probably gonna shower and then I'll do my beauty haul and thrift haul, my 3 things. But I gotta shower because I feel like I can't even sit on the furniture right now because I've got makeup all over me.
Stella's gonna look you up and down.
I know, she's gonna be like, Lancome's my favorite.
It's 104 degrees, let's go inside.
Yeah, we gotta go, bye.
Thought I would just do, show you guys what I got before I take a shower, just because I have natural light. And this is the room we're staying in, and it's a disaster right now. But I will show you what I got at Ulta and what I got at Sephora, and then I'll show you the 3 things that I got when we went out thrifting. So we'll go ahead and start with Sephora. So I've been looking for a dewy foundation, and all the reviews that I read tell me that the Lancome is the best one for that. So I picked this up, and I think this is my right color. I don't know. It's just like always something that I just have to test out. 320. I mean, it doesn't matter because everyone's their own color, but I have these drops that I always mix in. If it's a little too light, I have these drops that I use that help darken it. But I'm really excited to try this out. Then I got a sample of the Smashbox Primer Oil because I also read good things about that, but I didn't want to buy a full thing of it just because you just never know what's going to break you out, especially in oil. So I'm going to test it out for a couple of days. I bought the Tatcha Dewy Skin Mist, and this is a repurchase. Definitely on the pricey side, but I'm just never disappointed with it. I use it before and after foundation, and it really just gives you a very nice dewy without looking sweaty kind of glow. So this is something that I'll just keep repurchasing because I love it so much. And then the whole cause of all of this was the Tarte eyebrow pencil in medium brown. My Ulta haul is a little bit bigger because you know, I don't have an Ulta, and the funny thing is some of the stuff you can get at Sephora as well, but there was like not one person in Ulta, so I was really able to like look and test out everything. And I had my phone pulled up and I was like reading reviews on all of the products I was trying out. So I literally, Ryan's such a saint, I spent like an hour and a half in there, and he just like, well, because you guys know what he was doing. So but I got this is probably Dermablend Foundation. This is the one that I use every single day when I want a fuller coverage. It's full coverage, but it doesn't feel like full coverage. It's actually what I'm wearing right now, and I've been using that for like 3 years. Funny story is this was like my second ever sponsored video on YouTube, and I just have not quit using it because I love it so much. And then I got this balancing softener lotion, and this just kind of resets your pH after you cleanse. and you're ready to do the rest of your skincare, so like your serums and your moisturizers. I needed something that didn't have like a ton of acids in it, just something that's kind of like a little lighter, I guess, but moisturizing at the same time. And yeah, so I got this. Got the LifebyHer Foundation, and it is a super lightweight anti-aging SPF 50 like foundation moisturizer. So I saw this on an infomercial, and I like almost called and ordered it right then and there. And I've been looking for it forever because Sephora I don't think carries this, so I got it at Ulta, so I'm super excited about it. The next thing I got is by a brand that I've never heard of. I guess it's like CosRx, or yeah, that sounds right. Low pH BHA Overnight Mask. And everyone online said, you know, whenever they're too lazy to do their skincare routine, like their full skincare routine, they'll cleanse, tone, and then just throw this on because it's just like a low pH BHA. So I actually think this is a Korean brand. It almost feels like a balm, but it has tea tree oil in it, so I'm not super worried about it breaking me out, but we'll see. I've said that before. Got the Ordinary Glycolic Acid 7% toning solution. Last summer, I was in, this is what it looks like. So you get like a lot, and I think this was $8. Last summer, I was in the sun a lot, and I started getting like spots, just kind of like you could tell I'd been out in the sun on my chest. And I had this Drunk Elephant Glycolic Acid, and I used it every single night until the bottle ran out. And you could tell, I mean, it was like a night and day difference of what my skin tone and texture looked and felt like after using the Drunk Elephant Glycolic Acid. But it's so pricey, so I thought this is, I think it's actually the same percent glycolic acid as the Drunk Elephant, so I'm gonna give this a try. And I also forgot my body wash, so I picked this up at Target, Method Body, and it's peony, rose water, and pink sea salt, and it smells, I actually got this the other day, so I've used it, but it smells really, really good. So that's what I got. It's kind of a lot. For my thrifting, I'll show you. These like lace up, kind of Western looking cowboy boots. I thought these were so cool, with like a long dress to give kind of like a boho look. I don't know if I would wear these with jeans necessarily. I think with something kind of flowy over it, but I thought they were cool, and they have like a really worn look to them. And these were $8. And I found this in the men's section. I always seem to go in the men's section first, but it's just this giant oversized, almost like a rain, like a big flowy jacket. But I'll try this on more because I literally can't stand up right now because there's nowhere to stand. But it's like a big flowy jacket. It goes like almost down to my ankle, but it's a men's size large. So thought it was kind of nice for when it's raining outside or if it's just like a little chilly. And then this is by Storets or Storts. I never know how to say it, either Storets or Storts. And it is just a cropped blazer with kind of like this super dramatic sleeve, and it's double breasted, so you could actually just wear it as like a top with maybe like sticky boobs, so it kind of is like low cut with a bunch of necklaces. But I thought this was super cute. I love the sleeves, and this was $8, and then the jacket I just showed you was $1, so it was like $17 altogether for those three things. But there was so much more I wanted to get, but just like the room in the suitcase, and the skincare stuff adds a lot, like the toners and stuff. It's like they're heavy when they're all together. Okay, I'm probably gonna go shower here in a second because I just have been sweating all day long, and I'll talk to you guys later tonight. Bye.
We're gonna start a show.
Yeah, it's 8 o'clock. We're about to watch the trailer for The Family.
Focus there.
Framing good enough for you?
Never.
Right. Alright, it's Monday. I thought I was gonna end the vlog, but then I decided not to, because we still have kind of a full day here. Right now we're on our way to the pet store because I left Stella's leash and harness at my mom and dad's house. Because when I'm there, we don't use it because she just runs around the backyard, and it was hanging on the back of the door, and anyways, I just left it. So we gotta go get a new one because we need it for the airport. So at least now she'll just have a backup. Then we're gonna go to HEB because I'm gonna make enchiladas tonight for everyone. And we're going one other place, right? Where are we going?
Go to the pet store. You already say that? Coffee at 12:30.
I know. I'm just like, I need one, so. My framing's off, so I'm gonna go.
You should. Thank you.
Oh, okay. B-roll. No
Sweet
one
bun.
wants to see my...
Sweet bun.
Okay, this is...
If I change the way
Hey Connor, sweet outfit, dude.
Why are you saying Connor?
I feel like you're broke.
My hair?
You're dressed like Connor.
You're saying it because my hair slicked back, and you know that. There's like wedding dresses right here.
Where? You want to get a wedding dress from a building that used to be Office Depot? I don't think those are wedding dresses.
Look in here.
Those aren't wedding dresses.
Look in here.
Those are like quinceañera dresses.
Quinceañera.
They are. Those are quinceañera
It's
dresses.
quinceañera.
Sure it is. I grew up in San Antonio, dude. I know how to talk.
Yeah, but you also eat tamale with the wrapper on, so I don't know if I trust anything.
You can eat it.
Can I just tell you one thing that just bugs me about you?
I prefer you don't.
Oh, then I'll tell you guys. So Ryan is always, this is one of my biggest pet peeves, just so preoccupied on his phone. And like, I get it because we both work from our phones, so we're both on our phones a lot, but in a time of where you need to be paying attention, like when the person at Starbucks is making your drink and they're like, Grande Americano for Ryan? And I'm like, Ryan, like, he's talking to you, your drink is ready. And I point it and I'm like, Ryan, here's your drink. This is yours. What does he do? He grabs someone else's drink that the guy's made and just takes a giant sip out of it. And I'm like, I literally just pointed to the other drink and said, this is your drink. And he's like, sorry.
I mean, everything you're saying makes sense, and it would apply if getting coffee and having a barista make your drink was one of those times when you should be like really intent on paying attention.
Maybe that's just
Doesn't
me.
apply.
Because I feel like it's just polite when someone's saying your name and you're
well, let's
like,
be clear also. Look, go ahead and look on the side of mine because he didn't say my name, lady.
he said my name,
He said
okay?
your name.
So that's actually what happened. But
And you pointed.
Ryan, we're going to Petco, which is right there.
I thought we were going
Again,
to
not
PetSmart.
paying attention. No, why would we go across the street to PetSmart when Petco is right there?
I told you about
Here
this
we
earlier.
go. This is like my life.
you know what I've
Alright, so we're just gonna sit here for a second, drink our Starbucks drinks. I'm gonna be honest, I forgot my straw, my reusable straw, so I know.
I'm furious.
Like, you just need to worry about yourself right now.
Look, all I'm going to say is
So,
you need to worry about
anyways.
saying your name right at Starbucks.
What do you mean?
Shlee.
Wait, what? Shlee? There's
any-
not even an
Is
A!
anybody supposed to listen to your advice when you can't even say your own name right?
Anyway, so I know I told you guys I would talk more about, and I always like getting Ryan's take on stuff like this, kind of where I got this idea from. So I feel like he's very knowledgeable and he can add a lot to the conversation when it comes to stuff like this. But, you know, we were talking about the other day, you know, when you're doing things wrong. And, you know, that sounds kind of harsh, but that's just kind of like a short term for just not doing things how maybe they should be done and just taking your time and doing things the right way. You know what I mean? So I know I told you that I would talk about like the bigger issues when it comes to doing things wrong. Like yesterday we talked about, you know, in comparison to like life, 2 small things like the wedding we talked about and skincare, just like doing things wrong. And so Ryan and I were kind of talking, and another big example is we just got an attorney and just kind of sat down with him and realized some small things in our business that we're doing wrong that could really lead to overall like not great life consequences.
That was an interesting find.
Yeah.
With our new business attorney.
I mean, nothing that can't be fixed right now.
Yeah,
it's not like...
It's basically just paperwork that needs to turn into a routine in your business that if you don't have it down, over the long term, it can cost you $50,000, $75,000. And it's just like, holy shit. And all we have to do is just do some paperwork. Like the little things that just have to be ironed out in the beginning. So another example of the small things that add up is something that Ash and I go over all the time is finance related. When we have budget meetings, we take a look and see like, why are we outside of budget for this line item or this category? And most of the time it's because of the little small stuff that you don't track, the little daily things, whether it be a coffee run or groceries to go pick up something for the recipe you want to make that night. And that doesn't happen all the time. It's not like a daily thing, but when you look back over the course of like 30, 60 days, it's interesting to see like, wow, that added up to an extra, however many dollars of things that I didn't even account for.
Yeah.
And it's the little things. So over time, the little can turn into big, especially like if you're trying to save up, if you're trying to pay down student debt, or you're trying to pay off a car loan, or you're trying to save for a house, all these big life things that you need to either save for or pay off that affect your overall life in the long term, little stuff can make a big impact.
And I'm sure you guys know that. Like, that's something that I feel like everyone knows, but do you really implement it, and are you really thinking about it on a day-to-day? Because we even try to think about it on a day-to-day, but like before we left, I ran to go get toothpaste at CVS and ended up spending $60. We invest and we save and we have retirement funds, so we really, really try to be so mindful when it comes to spending and not just blow money on stupid shit. And I know that's so, contradicting because we live in New York and our rent is very high, and people are always like, why do you choose to live in New York? But we have made such great connections by networking in New York City. Like, it's not about, people always think, oh, why don't you move somewhere else? Like, you would be just as cool or whatever. It's not about like the way you look and how people see you. It's about networking and being able to go to events and meet the founders of companies and connect with them. It's
about proximity and access.
Yeah.
Overall. Proximity and access collapse time. They make things move faster. Obvious drawbacks like high rent, high taxes, all that. But it gets offset in the long term by the relationships that we've made.
Yeah. So, and a lot of people I think don't understand that. A lot of people see surface level, because I read the comments, I read the comments of living in New York and throwing money down the drain with rent, and I read those and I can't even pay mind to them because people just don't understand the deeper level of the reasoning behind why we do what we do. And this is kind of like going past like the little things, but I do think that kind of plays into it as well.
It does, in a way. If you're talking about little things of, if you want to build up a network, like we just talked about network, little things is daily or weekly actions to build up your network, whether it be going to networking events, whether it be reaching out to somebody that you haven't talked to in a while to maintain that relationship. People underestimate how powerful it is to bring people together. Like,
well, and I get random DMs of people saying, hey, I just did my first YouTube video. Will you go look at it and just give me your first thought of it? And that is like you taking a small step to a big picture thing. When you have the balls to reach out to somebody that you don't even know, just in hopes that they'll check out your video and give you feedback, that's awesome. And I feel like that takes a lot of guts to do that. And that is taking a small step toward a big picture of doing the right thing.
Totally.
In my opinion. But if I have feedback, and let me just tell you right now, and my girls in my LifebyHer community know this about me, and we'll get into this in a little bit as well when we get home, but if somebody asks for my feedback, I'm going to give it to you straight up. And you might not like what I have to say. I always mean it with love. And who cares what I think? If you're asking me my opinion, I'm going to give it to you.
You know who's another shining example of little things that made a big impact in someone else's life is Angela. We talked about her before, just ourselves, and this is somebody that's recently come into Ashley's life as a personal friend. that has made a big impact and a shift in the way that she's thinking and viewing the community and the content. But Angela is somebody that's been in the Life by Her community for
long time,
2 years, I think, maybe.
Yeah.
And she had reached out to Ash, I think, many times before. Like, that can be disheartening to reach out to somebody that you're following and not get a response. But obviously they get thousands of DMs and emails.
But let me just tell you, I've done the same before. I've reached out to people bigger than me and I haven't gotten responses.
Exactly.
So I know how it feels.
So it can be disheartening. But Angela kept it up. Angela took the extra effort to keep going and knowing that it's nothing personal if somebody doesn't respond to you. And she kept following up. She kept saying that I would love to be more a part of the community. She kept DMing Ash saying she loved this content. She recommended suggestions for other content. And then she became a bigger part of the Life by Her community, become a moderator. So she kept taking these little steps to become a little bit, putting that extra effort in to be a little bit more part of the community. And now it got to the point where we had that event with ASOS and Angela flew across the country. Not a little step, that's a big step.
Yeah.
And sat us down for lunch, and with that meeting, Ashley had her epiphany of the change in content and the change of perspective that needed to come. I mean, she felt disconnected from the content for a little while now.
And Angela helped me
and
see
she was the
why.
catalyst for that. So think about that, is that the little actions that you're taking every day that you might think are inconsequential, but those can lead up to something that can be where you're a pivotal moment in someone else's life.
Yeah, she is someone that if I create something or I'm thinking about doing something, I ask for her advice, she will give it to me straight up. And I'm not the kind of person that you don't need to sugarcoat anything. If you're close to me and I want your advice straight up, she will give it to me. And it doesn't mean I'm gonna take it or not, but I ask for it and I expect her to deliver it to me straight up. You know, like, don't sugarcoat it. I like women like that in my community that, you know, is not afraid to take constructive criticism. Think about this camera. Sorry guys, the camera just cut off because it got hot. It's the one thing I hate about this camera, although it has been sitting like in the sun, but it gets super hot after like 10 minutes. All right, we're gonna go into Petco and grab a harness, and I'm gonna talk more on that when we, like, later today when we get back and stuff and I'm packing. If you want to hear it.
Okay, cool, bye. Gotta call it 2.
Finished doing some laundry. It's always nice to come home to Texas because then I don't have to do laundry when I get back because I can just do it here. Since I'm just folding stuff and putting it away, that I would kind of just talk to you guys a little bit more about what I was talking about earlier. And I know today is not vlog. Uh-oh. Do you want on the bed? Here. I'm sorry. Here, hop up this way. There you go. Hop up this way. You got it. I know today hasn't been so exciting, but we're really just trying to, like, pack, get stuff for dinner tonight, and catch up on some work because we're gonna be traveling for most of the day tomorrow. But I just kind of wanted to touch on what I was talking about earlier about my Facebook community and what I meant, because I didn't really go into much detail about it. But yeah, you know, whenever somebody asks me for advice, I always try to give it straight up, and I don't sugarcoat things because I don't want to waste people's time. And I think some people, it can be a little soft, and I've always been one to just be super straight up and honest. And who even says that what I'm saying is correct? I just go off of what I know and what my experiences have been. I did have a girl in my Life by Her community ask for advice, and I gave it to her, and I thought it, you know, I just was really honest and straight up, and I guess she just didn't appreciate it, and so she left the group. But I can't apologize for who I am, and I'm literally never one to sugarcoat anything. I don't care if it's a stranger asking me, if it's my sisters, my mom, Ryan, because like I said, I don't want to waste people's time and be like, oh no, what you're doing is so great. It's just like, I would say something like, I see you're doing this, like this isn't something I would do necessarily, maybe do this instead. I believe in not wasting time, and I believe in doing your research to make sure that you're doing things the correct way. And a little bit of research can go a long way. When when I have people reach out to me and they're like, how do you start a YouTube channel? I just want to say, like, have you done your research? Because what I can tell you it might not work for you. I can tell you what's worked for me, but I also recommend doing your research as well and testing out what works for you. Because if you're trying to start a cooking channel or, baking or something, my advice probably isn't going to be relevant to you. While I can appreciate someone being bold enough to reach out and ask, I always give the best advice I can, but always tell them to just take time and research. Because that is how you do things the right way, is making a plan for yourself and how things work for you. And I do think it's good to have case studies of how this person did X, Y, and Z, but apply it to your own path. Don't do exactly what this person is doing. Do what this person's doing, but make it your own, if that makes sense. And a lot of people, I would say like 98% of the people that ask me for advice and I give it to them straightforward, appreciate it. And I appreciate that, because in my Facebook group, I always like to have really strong-minded women and really like strong will and, can take criticism and can take advice because they know it's just trying to help each other out. And, for the most part, that is what my community is built on. And I love seeing people in the comment section like, oh, I see you're doing it this way. I would maybe not do that. Maybe try this. And I don't know. I love seeing that. And some tough women in that community and really hard workers and strong-minded. So I think that's just what I love about the community so much, because I see people every day helping each other out. I really tried hard to build a community of strong women. And, some people every now and then will come into the Facebook group and they're like, hey guys, I would appreciate if you would give me a follow. I'll follow you back. And automatically it gets removed and we send them a message that this isn't the group for that. There are plenty of groups where you can go and self-promote, but this isn't one of them. That's not an organic way to gain a following. Trying to insert yourself in as many Facebook groups as possible to try to get a following is not organic, and it is most definitely not going to help you out in the long run. That is taking a shortcut. To me, it's almost just like cheating, and you just end up hurting yourself, which I have told people before. People who do that in the group, every now and then I'll send them a message and say, this isn't the way to do this, because you're hurting yourself, and I'm telling you this because I care about you, and I can tell you're a hard worker, you have great content, so try to think of more organic ways to gain a following. And it doesn't happen overnight. It happens with time. So I'm gonna finish packing. I actually think I got everything in my suitcase, surprisingly. But we'll see when I get to the airport tomorrow and my bag is over 50 pounds. Okay, I'm actually probably gonna go get stuff ready to start cooking dinner. Gotta feed Stills, gotta pack up the rest of my bathroom stuff. And probably like help Ryan pack too, because he always waits till the last minute and then he just throws everything in the suitcase. God bless him. Okay, I'm gonna go. Bye. All right, time to go to bed. Sorry I didn't vlog anymore. I just kind of spent the rest of the day packing and showered, and then I made our enchiladas. They were so good. Our flight's at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, so we need to leave here at like 6, so pretty early morning. Not too terrible, but still pretty early. And I can never sleep the day before traveling. I think I just get like, I don't know, nervous, anxious. I'm a terrible flyer. But I'll see you guys in the next vlog, and hope you enjoyed this one. I'm sorry it wasn't so eventful, just because, like I said, we were, spending time with our family. We do a big Texas trip every August, and we really try to, be present when we're in both of our hometowns. So we'll get back to normal schedule when we get back tomorrow, but I'll see you guys then. Bye.